why do you think this really isn't an accurate set here? I mean, it is accurate according to us. But why is it a bad comparison for us? Yeah?
We're all different, like age, weight, ethnicity, gender, so on and so forth.
I don't think, I mean, like, if I'm just thinking about humans, I think this is fine to be different things like that, yeah?
We could be lying about our height.
I guess we could be. I'm hoping nobody's lying about their height, but I'm thinking of one huge thing.
Umbrella, maybe 6 foot.
Women's shoes and men's shoes are measured differently,
That's
which means that Michaela's 11 and Carlos's 11 and a half aren't necessarily the same thing.
Michaela, come here. Let's compare shoe size real quick.
No, we can later. All right, now we're going to definitely put a break here and here because I'm not going to go from 0 to 69. It actually doesn't matter which one you put on which, although I'm going to put shoe size on it because I listed it in the X spot. These are usually to compare the correlation between two sets of data. So I'm putting height over here. My lowest height is me at a measly 63. 64, 65, 66.
Wait, how are you tall? 5'1".
5'1"?
Yeah, 5'1".
Oh, then you should have been 61 inches. Okay.
And then 5.
You know what? We're gonna keep it as it is because I don't want to mess up the thing right now. But it would have been 12 times 5, which is 60 plus 1, 61. Okay. And then shoe size, we're going between, I'm going to start at 7 and go to 12. You are quite an anomaly, sir.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giant feet. Biggest feet in the room.
And the shortest one.
That's right. Okay, and so then you start putting dots where they line up. Anything that has a second data point, you kind of make that dot bigger. I like to circle them just to make them obvious. And that's just because that was my first one. Everything else will not be circled. 8.566. 965. 1167. And 11.564. So besides the fact that our data is a little messed up because girl shoes and boy shoes are not measured the same way, what do you think? Positive, negative, no correlation?
No correlation.
I would say that right here, Carlos is an outlier.
I wouldn't say positive.
Yeah, I think it's a positive correlation. In fact, his data point would actually be if we had his actual height be down here a little bit, right? A little bit lower. But do you see how if we take out that data point, we've got a pretty solid upward trend here? Now, you can't remove data points, but you can, like in a scientific study, you can identify outliers. And then as long as you identify them, then you can look at the trend of the rest of the data. Because there's always some interesting people, no matter where you go, or interesting data points. Doesn't have to be people. I'd call this a positive correlation. I'd say if you're looking at all of them, I would say no correlation, if you didn't identify an outlier. What's a negative correlation look like? It's going downhill instead. Negative correlation is going downhill. That means that a positive correlation means that supposedly as your foot size increases, your height also increases, that they get bigger together or smaller together. A negative correlation would imply that as one goes up, the other goes down. Can you think of any real life examples of something going up as another thing goes down?
Demand.
Yeah, supply and demand, that's absolutely right. Or it could just be like the money in your bank account and how much you spent this month. The more you spend, the less money you have.
Oh, yeah, colder temperatures, the more gas prices are, stuff like that.
Right. I need somebody to embarrass. Nathan.
Okay.
All right, Nathan, I'm going to embarrass you. For our time series chart, which is our last one, we are going to talk about Nathan's awkwardness, which is also a good thing I picked Nathan instead of Carlos, because Nathan, I think, fully feels his awkwardness, and Carlos, I don't know if you do. I think that you are very comfortable with who you are, which is very cool. Very, very cool. I think that Nathan, especially in middle school years, maybe was very uncomfortable, like most of us, with who we are at that time, because being a middle schooler is horrible. Yeah. Okay. All right, Nathan. So let's get some data from you. 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th, 11th, 12th. I'll throw 7th in there for good measure. Okay, I need you to rate your awkwardness, your uncomfortableness with being who you are. Let's have 10 be super uncomfortable and 1 being so happy with yourself. And this is nothing about your self-confidence. This is a very much reflection of middle school and how horrible it is to be a teenager. Most of us feel this way. Maybe not Carlos, because he's an exceptional exception.
I'm always the outlier, remember that.
Yeah, he's an outlier.
Okay, 7th grade would be a 6.
Okay. Solid 6.
8th grade would be probably an 8.
Okay, going up.
9th grade, probably a 7. You know,
Okay,
so,
coming back down. I do feel like 8th grade is one of the worst times.
10th grade to go back to a 9.
Oh, wow. 10th grade went way up.
11th dropped to a 6.
Nice.
And then I'm a pretty comfortable 5.
Nice. Healthy 5. I like it. All right, a time series chart always has time, and it always has one of these. Every single always. Always. And the reason why it's always is because time doesn't begin at this age. That's a bad, I should not say always. Here's when it wouldn't. If I had started with Nathan's awkwardness the year he was born, I guess it wouldn't have a time jump in it. But especially when it's actual years down here, remember that even if the year he was born wasn't the beginning of time, you know, all that stuff. All right, so we're going to start with 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Looks like you peaked with your awkwardness in 10th grade. I would say I peaked with my awkwardness in 7th, or maybe 8th. Those are my worst years, for sure. I didn't dislike everything about myself, but I felt very aware of everything about myself that was different than other people, which I hated. I'm also going to put a thing here so that I can start at 5. How about you, Noah? What was the most awkward phase of your life?
Probably 10s through the whole thing.
10s through the whole thing.
Yeah,
Just uncomfortable with everything.
I'm not a very happy person.
Oh. Oh no. So in 7th grade, you were about a 6 with your awkwardness. 8th grade, we went up to 8. And then 7, 9, 6, and a 5. Besides maybe this conversation, which has maybe sent him spiraling into like an 8. No, we're comfortable with this group of people? Yeah. A time series chart always is a line graph to show you how things are moving. This is the kind of like statistics that you would generally see like in a boardroom where they're like, how's our stocks doing?